What's up there, my friends? Hello, my peeps, and welcome back to Carpo's Corner. I thought, why Carpo's Corner? Well, I thought, why would you call something a corner? Well, it's not like you're standing on a street corner. It's like, no, maybe it's like you're inside at a corner of a party and you're standing in the corner of a room with a few friends talking about something that nobody else wants to talk about because it's so obscene or obscure. Maybe that's more like Carpo's Corner. In this case, it would be, why are there so many stupid people? And when I say that, I feel kind of guilty almost and like berating my fellow man. And the instant question comes up, how do I know I'm not stupid? How do I know I'm not the ignorant one? Now, I could, of course, justify my intelligence by saying, but I know this and I know that. And then a person could easily retort with, but how do you know that's the right information to know? And why is that more relevant than this person over here who only knows mountaineering? Who's happier, right? Or what are you gauging success on? And it gets into a lot of, I guess, semantics, wordplay, but also philosophy and, life choices and what's interesting to you. So the idea of being stupid is really in very much in the eye of the beholder, but in our societal standards, we make stupidity out to be a person who perhaps is illiterate, a person who doesn't understand a certain, the basic facts about science, culture, math, whatever it might be. The thing is, you're always going to be illiterate in a different language, so then you get into determining what language is most important. You see where I'm going? So when I say, why are there so many stupid people, I realize I'm gauging that on my own level of what I consider to be intelligent. So maybe I should lay that out. Intelligence to me would be emotional intelligence, which means you don't react with haste and start screaming at someone because you're angry about something that maybe you're standing in line at the checkout and a person starts screaming at the checker, or a person's going off on the attendant of something because of something that's not their fault, blaming them for the business they work for. The kind of absurd things you see rich people do sometimes when they drive into gas stations and they demand their oil checked, and then the person says we don't do oil checks, and they get all upset with them, which has happened to me personally because I worked as an attendant for years in a gas station. So you start to see the patterns of behavior within people, and you think, there's a lot of entitled sons of bitches out there who think that they just are owed the world, won't even give you the time of day or roll their window down. Anyhow, you start to wonder, these people probably think that a lot of the average, say, when I worked at a gas station, long haired kid, 18, they think, oh, this guy's a loser, and they think he's probably just some dumbass kid working at a gas station. But once in a while, I'd meet some guy who's like, yeah, you seem like a smart kid. You're really, easygoing, and you just, you have a good demeanor, and you can hold discussions, which was important to a lot of people. But to others, all that matters is, do you have enough money? So I'm giving you a different layout of how some people think that the dumb or the ignorant are the ones that don't have enough money because they haven't earned enough money. Others say, well, the ignorant are the ones that don't understand math or don't understand reading, or you don't understand fine literature, or as a video I was making earlier, it was talking about the word sophistication and how sophistry or Sophia means wisdom. It's basically people stole the word sophisticated and used it for their own needs. To you picture this person who knows a lot about art and culture, and that's even one of the definitions, but the original definition would be someone who teaches Greek philosophy, which is almost the direct opposite of common art and culture, because philosophy deals with the art of history and man's mind, if you will. So I, I guess I could go on and on about that part, but philosophy is an important thing to me. So when you're talking about sophistry or being sophisticated, to me that means that you know a lot about, let's say, the history of art, or what art is, or you think a lot about what, not just like, I know which painting is worth a lot of money, or I understand how to set my silverware out. In the 1800s, manners became this huge issue. 1700s, 1800s, and especially in England, where it was all about learning how to set your napkin and your silverware properly, and manners were thought to be this way of being sophisticated. So anyhow, back to dumb people. Um, when I walked to the store today down to this place called Chuck's Produce. It's about, I don't know, half mile, three quarters of a mile down the way. Decided to take a walk. I went to the art store, bought some string for beading necklaces. Then I bought like 3 journals, one for each of my younger kids. And then I came back, stopped at Chuck's Produce, which is a little bit more expensive than I usually want to spend. It's a place where they, have local produce and farmer stuff. I went in and bought a half-gallon thing of chocolate milk. I love chocolate milk. It's probably like 4%. It's a local farm. It's $1.95 for the deposit on the bottle. It's a huge glass bottle. I don't know why that's relevant. It was just delicious. So I'm coming back from the store, and as I'm walking, there's lots of traffic coming in and out and turning, and I'm kind of looking at the beautiful sky and the clouds and thinking happy thoughts, thinking about life, and I kind of just juke across the street, go down and wait for the crosswalk. And as I was walking, I was thinking, isn't it interesting that I feel just like people are cool today? I like people today. And there are times when I leave home, and it's usually in my car, where just people are so frustrating and annoying that I just can't handle it. They're just complete morons. Everybody sucks. They're not driving properly. It's and everybody knows that feeling. But there are other times when I even drive and I don't feel that way about people. So I guess the point I'm getting at is that there are times when I feel great about everyone around me, and then times when everybody just seems to suck. When I'm out in public and I have to deal with going to a fair and waiting in line for something, it's annoying as hell. But that's not even as bad as like when you're waiting in the DMV or somewhere else. But then when I'm at a concert or an event, it's not so bad. You're talking to people in line, you feel like you relate to them. And I think that's an important thing for us to realize. When we're at a place where we feel comfortable around the people, we tend to be a little more relaxed and we're more patient. At least I am. And when I'm around people that annoy me, I'm not so patient, and that's when I start thinking these people are just ignorant. They're idiots. When I was younger, I thought I knew everything, and of course I've grown up. I know better. I don't know shit. There are intellectuals out there that blow me out of the water when it comes to knowledge, and that's fine, because actually I've learned that, and this is maybe the most important point I want to make in this video, because it just popped into my head, and it's something I was thinking about last night. After based on years of research and thinking about this, you only have so much room in your head. That means your personality, your attitudes, what you're interested in. It was something I was watching about people who are speed readers or people who have really good memories. This one girl who how they associate a string of hundreds of numbers to pictures and stories in order to remember the numbers. And even she's like, you have to be into this. This is something you have to be dedicated to because you only have so much room. When you rewire your brain to do numbers, it's not that you can go out and be a socialite and also do a ton of speed reading and word association and then crack codes. People specialize. It doesn't mean you can't do multiple things. Believe me, I know the brain is capable of a lot of amazing feats. But what I mean is the average human isn't able to control their brain well enough to get away from focusing on the one thing that they're best at. And we specialize. And there was somebody said, a philosopher that said specialization is for insects. I can't remember who said it, but it's how I feel as a jack of all trades. Maybe that demeans it. What I mean is not a jack of all trades, but there was a word for it, multi-potentialite. I read it like 4 or 5 years ago. They started even a website for people who are multi-potentialites that supposedly can do, that are more interested in a lot of different things. It's not an egotistical thing. It just means that your brain works differently than other people. You can't sit and work at one job. I'm interested in, I have a rock cutter out there as well as rock polishing equipment, and I have baskets of these stones and agates that I want to cut. I have a whole bunch that are cut into cabochons, that I'd love to sell. Then I have a whole bunch of paintings that I did. I have a shitload of art and Fimo clay. I made all these beads, years ago. Tons of stuff like that. Meditation benches. A whole lot of art that I'd love to sell one day, but I never got around to doing it because I don't want to list it, don't want to deal with the side of that side of it. And my point in that is that my mind works in a certain way at certain times. I specialize in different things, but I'm never good at paperwork. And so this is why we hire people to do certain things for us. Why I can work on cars, but I'd rather have somebody else even do my oils, because it's just such a pain in the butt and I don't want to deal with it. And it's weird because as you get older, you will find yourself less motivated to do the things that you once did with joy. Working on your cars, putting in new car stereos, that kind of shit I used to be really into. Now I'm like, oh, it's a huge hassle. But I'm not going to say that it totally goes away. You can create that, and I guess that's what makes and what I'm getting at really is that we're all yearning to be happy. And we all have different ideas of what stupidity is, what intelligence is, what's important. To me, going to concerts and experiencing life and listening to music, that's intelligent. Feeling out, understanding other people, feeling with my heart, but using my brain. That's what's intelligent to me, and that's what I think life's all about. A lot of other people have different views of that. To them, it's success, climbing the ladder, wearing suits and ties. Do I believe that all of them, when they're on their deathbed, say, I'm glad I wore a suit and tie and made billions of dollars and kept it to myself? No, because I think that most people realize the money means nothing eventually, but it's never about the money. And I'm bringing that up because, to me, spending your life just earning money, if you miss out on the opportunity of experiences with those you love, is stupidity at its greatest. But if you're using that wealth and income to enjoy yourself and to talk with people you love, I think that's genius. So maybe that's the message I'd like to leave behind. Being sophisticated, maybe, means you know how to use your time and you know how to share your time with other people. And so hopefully that's a wisdom that we all have. Looks like I've been, how long? It's only been 12 minutes. Seems like it's been a lot longer, but anyhow, I'm glad I could share these thoughts with you all, and I'll talk to you soon, and have yourselves a wonderful day.